like to give you a little background history on my health. When I was about 15 years old, I was hit by a car. I didn't break any bones, but I got about 150 stitches in my knee, my elbow, and my shoulder. And at that point, I started taking all kind of different pain medications just to be able to get up and down stairs and so forth. Then when I was in the military, I ended up with 2 ruptured discs, which of course automatically with the military they hand out medicine like candy. So I was on all kind of new pain medicine. Then in 2096, I had my first heart attack. In 2002, I had my second heart attack. Of course, going to the military hospitals, they decided that I needed a lot more medicine, so they gave me a lot more medicine. In 2004, I had a stroke, which put me down for about 6 months. And again, they said that I should take some more medicine, which I did. As a matter of fact, I was carrying around at work a duffel bag full of medicine. And because of the medications, I became so lethargic, I was not doing anything, wasn't exercising, put on a bunch of weight. Also, I developed diabetes and a thing called plantar fasciitis, which for you that don't know, that's basically where your arches are collapsing and severe pain in your feet. So other than that, I was doing great. So I was kind of like a train wreck. My brother called me up and said, listen, I think I found something that might be of help, because what the doctors were going to do, because with the 8 medications I was on for my heart, my stroke, it was not working. My blood pressure was like 180 over 120. My sugar with medication was like 300. Cholesterol was off the chart. So they were talking about giving me some kind of injections to kind of get everything under control. So he called me up and said, I think I found something. So after investigating it and having another heart attack, no, I'm kidding, I didn't, but the price almost did make me have a heart attack. And I'm sure when you hear the price, you're going to think maybe that it's not worth it. But let me tell you, within the first week of drinking this water, my blood pressure dropped from 180 over 120 down to 90 over 50. Now, that is too low. So I called up my brother, and he said, well, I think you're over-medicating yourself. So what I did is I took all my little pills and my little pill cutter, and I cut it in half. Second week, my blood pressure and sugar and everything was down still, so I took all my half pills and cut them into little bitty quarter pills. By the third week, I thought it was pretty stupid to keep taking the pills. So I ended up deciding to quit taking the medication, and I called my brother up, and he said, well, you better call your doctor. I said, right. And what is the doctor going to tell me? And he says, well, I don't know. I said, well, I do. He says, what? And I said, well, probably say I'm going to cause him to miss a few car payments. So he's going to tell me to keep taking the medication, which I'm sure all of you know what I'm talking about. So I told him, I said, look, I've got an appointment with my cardiologist in 6 weeks. I'm going to keep taking my medication like I'm taking it right now, meaning nothing, and I'm going to keep drinking the water. And when I go to the doctor, I'm going to see what the doctor says. So I go to the doctor. I don't tell the doctor that I'm not taking the medication. He runs a full series of tests, everything from triglycerides, cholesterol, you name it. And I go back into his office. He comes in. He's got a little metal flip chart, and he opens it up, looks at the flip chart, and then he looks at me real funny and looks back at the flip chart, and he has a strange look. And I said, well, what's wrong? He says, nothing. I said, well, that's great. He says, well, this doesn't make sense. He says, this looks like the readings of a 20-year-old. I said, wow. I said, well, every time I've been in here, you've always told me to increase my medication. I said, should I increase it, decrease it? Tell me what I should do. He said, oh, no, you should keep taking your medicine exactly like you're taking it. I said, are you sure? I said, because my brother's been very concerned. He said, no, I'm positive. I said, well, I'll tell my brother, because 6 weeks ago, I quit taking my medicine. That little man jumped out of his chair and stood over top of me and screamed at me and said, who told you to do that? And I said, you just did. He said, no, I did not. I said, you did. You not only told me, but you told me to tell my brother. And he said, well, that's not what I meant. And I said, well, I don't know what you mean, but I'm not taking the medication. He said, well, if you're not going to follow my advice, then I'm not going to treat you. And he stomped out of the room. That was the last that I've seen of him. And I'm still not looking for him, so thank you.